The new restriction list is now live. So, who are the winners? Who are the losers? And what decks can you play for the next upcoming premiere? Starting off, let's quickly go over who was sent over to Tartarus. Our new residents of Tartarus are Cedarsaur, Lavalith, Tadpuff, Tornajin, Tadflow, Iwoli Champion of Kione, Lycovoid Champion of Artemis, and Nectar of the Gods. Next are our limited cards, which are Equilinx, Kinleo, Locagon, Cryovern, Morfrost Lincoln Form, Eruption, and Solar Burst. Our only semi-limited card is Ambrosia, and Morfrost Bat has become unrestricted. So, lots of hits here. The goal in these bans were definitely to slow down the game, but did they succeed? Let's go over who took the biggest losses from this. Starting off is Frost. Multiple Frost decks took a hit here. Blizz losing its Cedarsaur, Morfrost trading its Lincoln Forms for Bats, and Iwoli being erased from this era. These hits were strong, but that's not saying these decks are now out of the game. Morfrost is still incredibly strong. Its consistency piece might have been lowered, but that won't stop the deck from being able to pull off crazy combos. It just might need some other tech to help with that consistency. With cards like Narpoon still existing, and Kione being able to help recur Lycan Form, I think the deck is in a pretty good spot. As for Blizz, well, the deck has now become even more of a high-rolling gambling deck. I can definitely still see players trying to make this work. It'll just need a boulder or two to help it out on occasions. I would also like to note, Cryovern being put to 1, I doubt that'll stop players from playing it. For the next deck, let's talk about water, more specifically Aphrodite. Aphrodite took quite a hit, losing Tadpuff and now only being able to play one Locagon. That being said, Aphrodite still has a very strong option, and that option is Water 5s. The Aphros package can be diabolical. Being able to bring out 2 bodies on the board, with them being 5 attackers, is very strong, along with the old Aphros being able to help with draw power. One route of play might have been lost, but that won't stop players from finding a new path. One last deck I'd like to talk about before moving on to the winners is Solar. Solar lost one of the best starters in the game, and that is Tornajin. Tornajin was able to help players get back row, Elestrals, or just card advantage, which was very rough for the opposing player. With Tornajin gone, players are now looking to play more heavily into the Celestial package or the Dragolus package. Solar Burst was also a pretty big hit to the Solar deck, now losing one of the strongest pieces of removal they had. With all things considered though, Solar is still a very strong deck, even after these 2 hits. With cards like Novacore being able to pop opponents' Elestrals, and Celestial being able to clear boards, I think Solar is in a pretty decent spot this current format. Now, who won from this ban list? Well, obviously, Voltempest, baby! Remaining untouched and unpunished, Voltempest is gonna win Worlds, and this is a joke. So Thunder is actually sitting in a pretty good spot right now. With the top contenders being hit like they were, decks like Voltempest and Thunderstorm now have a much higher chance of seeing play. Voltempest Champion is a strong deck, however, a lot of faults of the deck revolve around playing into back row, and playing around Voltempest itself. The deck is the closest to a glass cannon deck that we have in this current format, having expensive costs for high rewards, but getting hit by any counterplay makes the deck tumble over. As for Thunderstorm, the deck has consistency issues, and with how fast the top contenders were playing, if Thunderstorm didn't open up Fungo or a Thunderstorm, it would fall apart very fast. The new restriction list has done both good and bad for the deck. While everyone got slower, the Thunderstorm lost an important consistency helper, and that was Nog. Nog helped take up deck space, along with being able to increase the chances of drawing into key components for the Thunderstorm combo. Maybe with everyone slowed down, other cards might be more reasonable to play. Maybe a card like Electrify. Another deck that I would like to put some spotlight on is Antitan. Friendly Neighborhood Log and his R buddies have shown how strong the engine can be, playing in many different variants along with having quite a few tops. The main variant I want to point out though is Lunar Antitan. The deck took quite a hit, losing Lycovoid, but that is comparable to forgetting to put butter on your lobster dinner. Antitan is still one of the few decks that can just turbo into a 3 spirit cost Elestral. The combo typically requires 3 cards to pull off successfully. But with all the searches in the deck, you'll see how consistently it goes off. One last deck I would like to talk about today is Hestia. With Kinleo back down to 1 and losing Lavalith, the deck is still in a very decent position. With cards like Volcaries, Torch of Hestia, and Leobright existing, the deck is able to put such a strong offense while being able to build up resources faster than an opponent. Not only that, but Hestia is easily able to fit in Hephaestus' artifact engine. adding even more consistency and power to the deck. I feel people have already tossed this deck out, even though it was topping before Kinleo went to 3. But that's going to be it for today. Whether you agree or disagree, this new format will be very interesting. But if you can, please let me know how you feel about it in the comments section below. Thanks for watching!